Welcome back to the WDS Originals YouTube channel. My name is Jason and this is my V10 swapped E92 M3. And in today's video, we're going to be taking this car to the dyno for the third time. Now those of you that have been following this build will know that we've had this car pretty much complete since the start of the year. However, we've had one final hurdle that we've been really struggling to overcome, and that hurdle is tuning. And the reason we're struggling with this final hurdle is because this S85 V10 engine has a DCT gearbox on the back of it. And both of these are controlled by one management system, which is called a MaxxECU. And that standalone ECU is quite difficult to calibrate, especially when you take into account just how many wires and how many sensors are on this V10 engine. Couple that with the DCT gearbox, this thing's going to take some setting up. Now we fortunately had the help of American Jason to get this thing running.
Okay.
Good to go?
One more again.
Ready?
Yep.
It runs!
Running smooth as anything.
Mate, I'm so excited. Now that excitement unfortunately came to a bit of a grinding halt, and that's due to the fact that every time we took this car down to the dyno, we were having issues. And our first trip down to the dyno was over 4 months ago, where we were told that we were having wiring issues. So Dylan and I came home and pretty much rewired the entire car.
We're basically rewiring everything except the AC.
And after the full rewire process, we went back down to Steve at PVE and we were still having issues. Whoa, stop. Now this time I was sent home being told that I was having oil pressure issues. And these oil pressure issues were related to the Vanos system. Now assuming my V10 was dead, I went and bought another M6. And after I dropped my subframe and found no metal in the sump, I was a little confused, so started doing my own research. And that research concluded something quite interesting. Some of the Vanos settings that were on this ECU were in fact way off. Now that would explain why this car ran and drove, but getting it dialed in was nigh on impossible. Now I'm not trying to badmouth anyone here, as these V10 engines are incredibly complex. But I am trying to highlight just how much travelling and how much time and effort Dylan and I have put into this car, when realistically, we may not have needed to. The next thing Dylan and I set about doing was reinstalling our original BSD board, as the one supplied looked like this. Now who can spot the issue here? So 12 volts should be pin 1 according to the diagram, isn't that right?
Indeed.
And he's got it on pin 2. So the ground and 12 volts switched on that.
Yeah, it's probably blown the board up the first time we turned it on.
Typical, eh? Well, at least we got to the bottom of that one. Next. But tomorrow, I'm optimistic that this is all going to change. And the reason for that is because we're off to see Greg from Protuner, who, my regular viewers will know, recently mapped a Dill's E92 M3 turbo that we rebuilt on the channel. Now Greg's got years of experience with both V10 engines and also DCT gearboxes, but more importantly, knows these MaxxECUs inside and out. So fingers crossed, he can get this thing set up once and for all. But what I now need to do is get this V10 out of the garage, fueled up and on the trailer. So without further ado, let's get cracking.
A few moments later.
So you join me on this lovely morning walk where we're going to go and meet up with a Dill and also pick up the truck and trailer and then head to Greg's. Now the journey up to Greg's was pretty boring as we had to sit on the M25 in rush hour traffic, but eventually we made it. We unloaded the E92 and then started getting it into Greg's unit and getting it strapped to the dyno. And once it was strapped into that dyno, it was time to do a smoke test and a compression test to make sure that this thing was all good. And once it had passed all of Greg's tests, it was time to hook up that knock sensor and start the tuning process. Now, any of you guys who have had your own cars mapped will know just how terrifying this situation is. Fortunately for me, I was in safe hands and I could hear Greg was already starting to calibrate that Vanos system, which previously had never been touched. That is what that clacking noise is that you can hear of the solenoids opening and closing. And it wasn't long until Adil and I got to witness this thing at 8,000 RPM on the original tune. Now these figures are wheel horsepower rather than at the crank, and what happened next was Greg proceeded to tune this car and beat on it. And this process continued all day. And when I say all day, I really mean all day. And after a little while, we started to see some good numbers coming out of the dyno. Now at this stage, me being me, I thought I'd try and get you guys some good clips and stand behind the car. And what a mistake that was. My ears are still ringing. Now, as I sat back down in the chair to recover, Adil pointed out that this is one of the best pulls we've had yet. Now, with my ears in full recovery mode, I was sat in the chair with the tablet on the floor, watching what was going on for the next hour or so. And after a short while, Greg informed me that he reckoned he was going to need a fair bit more time to get this thing fully sorted. So suggested that I went home and came back to collect it when it was done.
A few moments later.
I received this text from Greg informing me that my coolant had just left the chat. Now fortunately, Greg informed me that the car was actually pretty much mapped and finished, so we got the truck and trailer and headed back up to go and collect this car. And with it soon collected and then back home and on my ramp, I was able to diagnose exactly what had caused this coolant leak. I stripped the rad fan out and Greg was right. This bottom hose that you can see here had rubbed through on the auxiliary belt and was pissing water. So after quickly removing this hose, we can see just how bad this damage was, and realistically, it's not the end of the world, as it is just simply a hose and a little bracket. Unfortunately for me, I've actually got a spare hose in stock, so it's time to fit this and hopefully overcome all the problems. Now with this new hose fitted, I left the car running, going through the bleeding procedure. And whilst this was happening, I thought I'd grab a torch and head under the car and check everything else over. And to be fair, pretty much everything under this car was good, except for these engine mounts. As you can see, the top of them has started to get very warm from where they're so close to the exhaust. So there are a few things that we need to address, like that engine mount, but overall, I'm pretty happy with how this has gone. This V10 is now tuned and mapped, so we can actually start beating on it. One thing Greg unfortunately didn't get to do was the DCT calibration. So at the moment we're on the old historic map for that, which is okay, but it definitely needs playing with. So we need to take this back out on the road or maybe on the track and actually dial that in properly. Now unfortunately Greg couldn't finish that due to the coolant leak, but he has promised us that we can get that done in due course. So what this now means is that this car is totally usable. We actually need to take this out on the road and record some log files so that Greg can see exactly what's going on whilst this thing's out and about. And then once we've got those recordings, we can go back and see Greg and hopefully get this thing fine-tuned. Now with regards to the power that this car made, I unfortunately wasn't there when it pulled its highest figure, but it made 459 wheel horsepower, which equates to this figure shown on the screen. So overall, I'm exceptionally happy with the end result of 540 horsepower, and over the next couple of weeks, we can get some log files, send them over to Greg, and fingers crossed, have this thing done once and for all. Now I just want to take a moment to thank everyone that's followed this entire journey from day one, and also to suggest if anyone's got any questions that they may want me to answer in a specific Q&A video, which I might do in due course. If I get enough comments on this video asking enough questions, then I may do a dedicated video going through some of those questions and answers. For now, I just want to thank everyone for watching and making it this far in today's video and continuing to support me and also the WDS Originals journey. So once again, thank you very much indeed.